Squid Game Season 3, The Final Gambit. Episode 1, Echoes of the Past. Seong Gi-hun stands at the edge of a desolate cliff, the weight of recent events pressing heavily upon him. The haunting image of his friend, Park Young-bae, being executed by the front man, Hwang In-ho, replays incessantly in his mind. The once vibrant man is now a shadow of his former self, consumed by guilt and a burning desire for retribution. In the aftermath of the failed rebellion, Gi-hun is unexpectedly released back into the world, a move orchestrated by the frontman to serve as a grim reminder to any who might challenge the game's authority. Determined to dismantle the sinister organization from the outside, Gi-hun embarks on a quest to uncover any leads that could expose the game's operations. His journey leads him to a clandestine network of former players and their families, all bearing the scars of the games. Among them is Hyunju, a resilient survivor from the second season, who has been covertly gathering intelligence on the game's financiers and organizers. Together, they form a fragile alliance, united by their shared trauma and a common goal: to end the games once and for all. Episode 2, The Puppeteers Revealed. Through meticulous investigation, Gi-hun and Hyunju uncover a trail leading to the enigmatic VIPs, wealthy elites who derive perverse pleasure from the suffering of the contestants. Their pursuit takes them deep into the underbelly of international high society, where they witness firsthand the depravity and moral decay that fuel the games. Posing as affluent investors, they infiltrate a lavish masquerade ball, a front for recruiting new VIPs. Amidst the opulence, they encounter a mysterious figure known only as the broker, a liaison between the organizers and the VIPs. The broker, sensing their true intentions, offers them a perilous proposition: participate in a special edition of the game designed exclusively for VIPs. The prize? A seat at the table of the game's architects. Episode 3, A Devil's Bargain. Faced with a harrowing decision, Gi-hun and Hyunju grapple with the moral implications of entering the game. They recognize that this may be their only opportunity to dismantle the organization from within. Resolute, they accept the broker's offer, fully aware of the dangers that lie ahead. Upon entering the game, they are stripped of their assumed identities and assigned numbers, becoming players once more. The environment is markedly different from previous iterations. This game is tailored for the elite, with higher stakes and more insidious challenges. The contestants are not destitute individuals but influential figures, each with their own hidden agendas. Episode 4, Games of Deceit. The initial rounds are a twisted parody of childhood games, each designed to exploit the psychological weaknesses of the players. Gi-hun and Hyunju quickly realize that brute strength is less valuable here. Cunning and alliances are the keys to survival. They form a tenuous partnership with a fellow player, a disillusioned former diplomat named Min-jun, who possesses insider knowledge about the game's inner workings. Together, they navigate the treacherous challenges, all the while gathering intelligence to expose the organizers. Episode 5, The Masked Truth. As the game progresses, the players are pitted against each other in a series of psychological trials, each more harrowing than the last. Betrayals abound, and the veneer of civility quickly erodes. Gi-hun, Hyunju, and Min-jun manage to stay ahead, but the constant tension takes its toll. During a particularly grueling challenge, they uncover a hidden chamber containing records of past games, including footage implicating several high-profile individuals. Realizing the magnitude of their discovery, they devise a plan to smuggle the evidence out and expose the organization to the world. Episode 6, The Final Gambit. With their plan in motion, the trio faces the final challenge, a deadly game of cat and mouse set in a labyrinthine arena. The remaining players are unleashed upon each other, with the promise that only one will emerge victorious. Gi-hun and his allies navigate the maze, evading traps and adversaries. Tensions flare as Min-jun's loyalty wavers, tempted by the promise of power within the organization. In a climactic confrontation, Gi-hun is forced to confront Min-jun, leading to a poignant exchange about morality, survival, and the corrupting influence of power. Episode 7, Revelations. Emerging as the sole survivors, Gi-hun and Hyunju are brought before the game's architects, a shadowy council of the world's elite. To their astonishment, the front man, Hwang In-ho, presides over the gathering. He reveals the true purpose of the games, a social experiment designed to explore the depths of human depravity and the lengths individuals will go for wealth and power. In-ho offers Gi-hun a place among them, citing his resilience and cunning as proof of his worthiness. Gi-hun, seething with rage, rejects the offer and denounces the council's actions. In a desperate bid, he presents the incriminating evidence, threatening to expose them all. Episode 8. The Collapse. The council is thrown into disarray as Gi-hun's threat looms over them. Hyunju seizes the moment to broadcast the evidence to the outside world, utilizing the game's own surveillance systems. Panic ensues as the reality of their actions becomes public knowledge. In the ensuing chaos, Gi-hun confronts In-ho, leading to a brutal confrontation that culminates in In-ho's demise. With the organization's leaders exposed and their power dismantled, the Squid Game empire begins to crumble. The live broadcast of the secret chamber's records ignites an international scandal, drawing law enforcement agencies and journalists into a frenzy. The world watches in horror as the true extent of the deadly games is revealed. Episode 9. The Aftermath. As Gi-hun and Hyunju escape the collapsing compound, they find themselves pursued by the last remnants of the Squid Game's enforcers, masked guards desperate to erase any evidence of their existence. A tense chase ensues through the underground corridors of the game's facility, leading to a dramatic standoff at the entrance. Just as it seems they will be captured, helicopters bearing the insignia of international law enforcement agencies descend upon the facility. The masked guards scatter, some attempting to flee, while others engage in futile resistance. Gi-hun and Hyunju, bloodied but victorious, are taken into protective custody. The global media brands Gi-hun a hero, the man who exposed one of the world's greatest atrocities. Yet, as he sits in an interrogation room, he remains eerily silent, haunted by the ghosts of those who perished. Episode 10. A World Shaken. The fallout from the revelations is immense. Governments are pressured to investigate the elites linked to the games, and protests erupt worldwide demanding justice for the victims. Several high-ranking officials and corporate tycoons are arrested, but many manage to evade capture, retreating into the shadows. Hyunju testifies before an international tribunal, detailing the horrors of the game, while Gi-hun remains reluctant to relive the past. However, he is approached by a United Nations investigative team, who reveal that despite the public outrage, many of the game's backers are still at large, and fragments of the organization are already working to rebuild. Gi-hun is faced with a choice: fade into obscurity and live the rest of his days in peace, or continue his fight against those who remain hidden. Episode 11. A new game begins. While Gi-hun wrestles with his decision, an encrypted message arrives on his phone. It is a video of a new game being prepared, this time, not in South Korea, but in a different part of the world. The message is signed with a single, chilling line: "The game is far from over." Realizing the war is not yet won, Gi-hun sets out on his next mission, not just to stop the games but to eradicate them completely. As he boards a plane to an unknown destination, his eyes burn with determination. The final shot reveals a familiar figure watching him from the airport terminal: Hwang Jun-ho, the missing detective and the presumed dead brother of the former frontman, Hwang In-ho. Jun-ho, alive and well, steps forward, his face unreadable. "You're not the only one after them." Final scene: the birth of the resistance. Squid Game will return.